I used to think that working long hours and dealing with constant chaos was just part of being an entrepreneur. I literally was addicted to it. And even when I wasn't working, I felt unsafe. Like things were just gonna come crashing down. And even when I would take vacations with my family, I would still be thinking about business because I felt guilty about being off. Then I started studying what separates successful business owners, not just those who look successful, but those who are actually successful in winning in life in all areas of their life, not just in business. From those who stay stuck, grind hard, burn out, and sacrifice all the things that are meaningful for them in their life. And here's what I discovered. The difference isn't luck or talent or work ethic. The difference is systems. The entrepreneurs who scale without burning out and build something meaningful that lasts long term all have specific systems in place. If you're tired of feeling like your business is running you instead of the other way around, pay very close attention to what I'm about to share. First of all, here's the number one reason most businesses stay chaotic. It's because the business owner thinks it's normal and they're actually addicted to the chaos. And then they build a team of individuals who are also addicted to the chaos and they get burnt out. And this is why it's hard to attract high-level talent, because when they come on board and they see that things aren't systemized, they're like, this business isn't going to be around long, and they're not willing to invest their time and their livelihood into growing something that probably won't be here 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year from now. And they can see this immediately based on how you onboard them. And it's the same thing when you bring a client on. They can see how sustainable this process is going to be and how likely they are to get the result that they paid you for just based on your onboarding process and how everything is systemized. It's this thing called hustle culture that's running us rampant and has lied to us and has told us that hustle is the key. You're supposed to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning if you want to bad enough. And then you're supposed to be up to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. If you're taking vacations, you're not serious. You need to 10x everything. This is all hustle culture, and it's killed more businesses than it actually helped because it's not sustainable. Here's the pattern I see with successfully struggling entrepreneurs. And I call it successfully struggling because on the surface level, they look successful. They got the money, they got the cars, they got the business, they're doing the things on Instagram. It looks fantastic. They're traveling, but they're working while they're traveling. They made me fly in private. Again, everything looks good. But in reality, they hate their business and they hate their life. If you survey most business owners, more than half of them actually hate what they built. Just look at this for a second. I'm not an artist or anything, right? But this is water. And then let's say we have a swan that's on the water, and the swan floats across the water and everything looks beautiful, right? But underneath the water, we don't see their feet that's kicking frantically just to stay ahead. And that's what most successfully struggling entrepreneurs look like. Who cares how much you're winning publicly, but you're failing privately? Who cares? So I have a client named Wes. When he actually came to work with us, we helped him build his business to $3 million a year over a 2-year time frame. And the thing that was interesting to me was having a conversation one time, and he said before he actually came to work with us, he had built his first $1 million business. But he hated it. He was always working. He was always on, so much so one of the things that we track with business owners is days off. Yes, because I believe that days in office is a vanity metric. We talk about how much we work to make us feel good. But the success of something isn't dictated based on how much you work or how much you work on it. So he was always working. And when I asked him one day, and he was like, well, what am I supposed to do on free days? I'm like, well, these are the days you don't work. You do other things that you enjoy doing other than work. He said, well, I enjoy working. And I'm like, okay, well, what are some other things that you enjoy doing? And he literally couldn't even think of anything. And I was like, you're married, right? He was like, yeah. And I was like, well, what does your wife like to do? He was like, I'm not sure, right? Now, fast forward, because he's so coachable, he actually took me up on this thought experiment to see what he actually enjoyed. And one of the things he found that he loves doing is traveling. So I think a couple weeks later, he actually took his entire family on a 10-day vacation to Dubai. Now he's actually been to multiple different countries, and he's built this business where he can actually run and grow without it. That's when you know you built something special and you built it the right way. Can you step away from your business for 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, and it still runs? Not only just runs, but it grows. If not, we got some work to do. Here's the reality. The more valuable you are to your business, the less valuable your business is. So does every question got to come through you? Do you got to prove everything? If so, you are the business and you're disempowering your team members. Once you understand this, you can actually make the shift to building something that actually works. So here's the 5 systems that help you build a business that can run and grow without you. System number 1 is the decision-making system. So anytime you make a decision, you want to systemize how you make the decision. So that way you're not making the same decision over and over and over again. If you make a decision for a team member, if a team member is coming to you to make a decision for them on their behalf, you want to figure out how do you systemize the decision so that they can actually make the decision on their own next time. Because if you're on vacation or you're on field trips or you're doing something else, now the business grinds to a screeching halt because you're not there to make this decision. And one of the most helpful ways to make decisions is making data-driven decisions. If you think about the most successful businesses in the world, and they're having board meetings and they're coming together, they're looking at data. They're not talking about how do we feel about this. They're looking at what does the data tell us. And if you're looking at the most successful investors in the world, multi-billion-dollar hedge fund investors, they're looking at what does the data tell us, not how we feel. So when entrepreneurs come to work with us, whether that's in person or virtually or one-on-one or whatever that may look like, they may come to us frantically. Like, what should I do? Should I do this AI thing? Should I do this? Should I do this? And the first thing we're like, wait, pause. Let's look at what the data tells us. And this shifts the energy, puts them in a place of power power, now we can actually move forward strategically. The second system is your communication system. So here's what I mean. Inside of our strategic operating system, we have something we call communication architecture. And one part of that communication architecture is meetings. A lot of times people are doing random meetings. I used to be in so many meetings, it was crazy. Now I only do meetings on Mondays, and they're only strategic high-level meetings. So you want to figure out what are the meetings that you actually should be on, what are the meetings that you're on right now that you don't have to be on, and then how can you communicate with certain parts of your team asynchronously. Now, another thing when you think about the communication system, you go through a few phases with businesses. First off, when you're starting out and it's just you, what we call army of one, right? This is when it's just you, you're the chief cook, bottle washer, the whole 9 yards. And as you start to hire, you go into one big team. Whereas you, everybody's reporting to you, the whole 9, right? It's just you, one big team. So your org might look like you at the top, right? And then you might have a person there, you might have a person there, you might have a person there, you might have a person there. So this is one big team, right? And as you grow, you end up at team of teams. So here's what team of teams look like. Again, it's you here, and then you have other executives that you begin to develop. So you might have a marketing, then you might have a sales, then you might have, client success, or what that may look like. And those individuals will have a team up under them. Of course, lean team, we're not just going big just for the sake of it, but I'm just kind of giving you some for visual effect. And depending on where you are revenue-wise, of course, you may not have this big a team, I may not have this many, but this is the idea of it. And then these individuals are going to have people that communicate to them, right? And then these executives are the ones that communicate to you. And when you meet with these executives, whether on your offsites, on your strategic planning calls, or whatever other meetings you host based on your communication architecture, you're going to figure out what we call cascading communication. Like, what have we covered in this meeting that you're going to communicate back to your respective teams? You don't want to have a situation like most businesses on the way they have a Slack or a WhatsApp and it's just all crazy. Everybody's in there, there's a lot of different stuff going on, and it's tough to understand what individuals should be doing and why and when. Your third system is your client delivery system. This is where you can create consistent results without your constant involvement. So as a visual, you want to take somebody from cold to client to consistent, repeatable process, right? Many business owners, they don't have a consistent, repeatable process. Where you want to have them come in, everybody goes through an exact process and they get a specific result. So if you go to Chick-fil-A, you're going to go through a specific process and you're going to get a specific result. You go to Disney, you go to Amazon. The goal is for you to go through a consistent, repeatable process and get a specific result. And you want this to happen without you being on 24/7, 365, depending on how your company is built. The next system is your financial tracking system. This is where you can know your numbers at a glance and you can make data-driven decisions, like I talked about in System 1. Now I work with entrepreneurs who are doing $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $3 million a year, $5 million a year, and everything in between and all over the place, right? I speak with and work with some of these really successful entrepreneurs. And the thing that I found is mind-boggling, but it's not crazy because I was here as well, is they don't have this financial tracking data. They may have an accountant and they may not. They may have a CFO and they may not. They may be getting P&Ls. And if they're getting those P&Ls, most likely they're not looking at those P&Ls and making decisions based on these P&Ls. This is part of your communication architecture as well. I get P&Ls from my CFO every month by a certain day, and we advise our clients to create the same system for their business. So again, we can all make data-driven decisions. And system 5 is your team management system. This is where people know their roles and they can execute independently. A couple weeks ago, my director of operations, Bianca, she was on vacation for a week. And the beautiful thing, while she was away, her team was still able to hold down the fort. So she can completely unplug, relax, and come back full throttle. And when I say team management, I say that word loosely because the reality is you want to have a self-managed team, and that's all going to come back to having the right systems. Each one of these systems remove you from being the single point of failure. And now you have something that can run and grow without you. My client Destiny asked me the other day, she said, Mark Will, what should I be doing? I feel so bored. I remove myself from pretty much everything other than these specific things. And I was like, well, this is what you came to us for. And she was like, that's very true, because I was actually doing my hair the other day. She was like, I love doing my own hair. But she was like, I couldn't do it because I was so busy at one point. And my daughter was helping me do it. And I realized in that moment, just a few months ago, I didn't have the freedom to be able to do this and have this moment with my daughter. And that's the power of these systems. Now, look, you might be watching this video and you're like, Marquez, this sounds good, but my business is different. No, the reality is chaos is chaos. I don't care if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you run an agency, you're a therapist, or you're a tax strategist. These systems work. If you want the exact blueprint I just walked you through, the link is in the description where you can get access to the Predictable Scale Playbook. It's free and it breaks down each system step by step by step. Go ahead and get access to it right now. Now, let's wrap this up and talk about how these systems actually work together. Now, these aren't separate tools. They're interconnected systems that compound. Because sometimes when I talk about systems, individuals start yelling out and naming different tools and softwares that they use. You can use a tool or software to implement your system, but it's not the other way around. The tool is actually a slave to the system and the strategy, not the other way around. Now, I know there's some great marketing out there that tells you that these tools are the system and all that, but that's absolute BS. That's just marketing and sales that's most times a little sketchy and not telling you 100% of the truth. And my mom always told me that half the truth is a lie. So you want to have a system where your marketing connects to your sales system connects to your delivery system, which ties into your fulfillment, which creates to a system where you can get referrals and testimonials. And you can do this over and over and over again. And then when you got this set up and it works really well, you actually almost forget that you set it up that way. It's just running. And that's how you have something that you know that you've built and it's special. And the result of that is your business running predictably, whether you're there or not. And while you're on vacation, while you're chilling with your family, you're on field trips, or you're playing basketball, or whatever you enjoy doing, clients are getting results. The team operates independently and they're self-managed. And if you are in the business, you can actually focus on growth. That could be personal growth, or that could be focused on high-level business growth. But the beautiful thing, it frees up your bandwidth to focus on the highest leverage activities in your business and stay in your zone of genius. So like today, for example, my day pretty much consisted of shooting 4 videos, 2 of these videos from a business standpoint, 2 videos for our Young Men As in Training, which is our youth entrepreneurship accelerator. I went and got my hair cut early this morning because we have a live event that starts tomorrow. I worked out with my trainer before that and we did it on Zoom. My 6-year-old asked me this morning when I was getting him ready for school if he could be a car rider today. So I picked him up from school as a car rider, brought him home, and I had to go back to the school to pick up my 11-year-old because he had to stay after for garden club. And that's pretty much what my day consisted of. Living by design, because I build my business around my life, not build my life around my business. And that's the beautiful thing of having these 5 systems in place. And the beautiful thing, it creates what Dan Hardy calls the compound effect. More profit, less stress, and real-time freedom. So the reality is businesses are chaotic. They're a dynamic machine, but when you create systems, you can create some control for the chaos. And when you do this, it helps shift you from firefighter to the architect of your business. The reality is your business should serve you, not consume you. And you should design your life first, and then your business around your life. And your business helps fuel the life that you want to live. Every successful business owner in the world got there because of systems, not superhuman effort. If this video helped you see how you can actually create systems to control the chaos in your business, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of these videos. It's going to help you build a business that can run and grow without you. And if you want the complete system for scaling your business without working more hours, click the link in the description and get access to the Predictable Scale Playbook. And if you're ready to get your team to actually run these systems for you, check out this video right here where I break down the biggest mistakes business owners make when delegating. I plead you, don't delegate anything until you watch this video.